You guys have a lot of questions when it comes to edible images and edible printer systems. So in this video, I'm going to share the top 10 questions that I get. Hi, it's Karolyn. Welcome back to my channel. I'm a professional cake decorator, and on this channel, I share my tips and tricks and ways that I bake and decorate cakes to help you along your journey. So if you'd like to join me, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you can get notified whenever I release a new video. Edible printer systems, edible images, we all love them. They look so cool, and there's a lot of questions when it comes to this. So I just wanted to make this video to answer the most common questions that I get when it comes to edible printer systems. And I just wanted to remind you before we get started that I did design my first free guide for you. It's called the Birthday Cake Design Blueprint. It'll help you come up with designs for your birthday cakes, and I will link that in the description below. So let's get into the video. So I have my top 10 questions here, and because I'm a freak, I had to print it out on a Word document. I don't know how people just talk to the camera and remember everything that they have to say. So question number 1. I have 10 questions here, so we'll start with number 1. Can I use my regular printer and just add edible cartridges? Listen to me. Linda, remember that little kid? I've referenced him before in my videos, but he's so adorable. Linda, listen. You cannot use a regular printer, which has had toxic ink running through the system, and put edible cartridges in there and use that. There's toxic ink still in the printer head. It still has run through the system. And think about it, you're not gonna wanna eat toxic ink, and there can still be residue of that ink in a regular printer. So what you must do, and it is an investment, you must purchase a completely separate printer that has never been used. You can't get a used one and just put edible cartridges in there. You have to get a completely separate printer that has never been used, brand new, and only dedicate that to your edible images and only have edible ink ever running through the system. This way, it keeps it completely 100% edible and safe for people to consume. Question number 2, can I refill the cartridges that I get? And the answer is yes. I have the cartridges here. I get all my stuff at Icing Images, and I will link that below. It says on here, keep the orange clips. Keep the orange clips. Keep these orange clips. These orange clips come on the cartridges, and what you need to do when you refill the cartridges, you have to clip the cartridges onto these clips. This little rubber stopper here is going to help prevent all of the ink from falling out of the sponge. So you must keep these clips. But yes, you can refill those ink cartridges 3 times before you have to replace them. There's actually a little sticker on the side of the cartridge where you can mark with a marker or something every time you fill it, so you can keep track of how many times you've filled the cartridge. These are not like regular printer cartridges. The sponges can dry out pretty quickly, and you just want to just listen to what they say. That's what I do. They say you can refill them 3 times, and then you need to buy a whole new set of cartridges. So yeah, that's it for question number 2. Number 3. This isn't really much of a question. However, it is just a fact that when you have an edible printer system, it is not the same as a regular printer. So the cartridges, like I just said, the sponges can dry out if you don't keep ink moving through the system. You must print a tester page weekly, at least. Sometimes I do twice a week. I use my printer so much that I don't really have to do a tester page more than once a week. But you could just take a regular piece of computer paper, run it through the system, and print a sheet. Here's the sheet that I print. I have a Trolls logo, and I have a Friends picture frame because I love Friends. And this has black and all the colors of the rainbow, and it prints every single color. That's why I chose these pictures to print. But I will print this at least once a week just to keep the ink and everything flowing through the system. Did I just spit? I feel like, why is my shoe sticky? Oh my gosh, I'm losing it. If you don't run a test page and you find that you don't use your printer very frequently, the printer head can clog. And that can become a headache, because to unclog your printer head can take between 20 and 45 minutes. I do have a video on how to unclog or clean your printer head, and I will link that in the description below. However, just remember, with an edible printer system, you must run at least once weekly tester print pages. Question number 4, can you print your edible images in advance? And the answer is yes. Now, when you get the edible icing sheets, they come in these silver envelopes. And seriously, what's wrong with me? I don't throw these away. I really could start throwing them away. But I save these envelopes because if someone orders an edible image from me and wants to come pick it up, I'm going to put it in one of these envelopes. If you're going to print an image in advance, you want to store it in one of these envelopes. You can store it in a Ziploc bag. However, it's not going to stay as long in a Ziploc bag as it will in one of these envelopes. So if you print your pictures in advance, I have actually printed pictures and used them a month later. Point is, if you need to print them in advance and you want to cut them out or whatnot, print them, save the silver envelopes, and did I just say envelopes? And keep them in here. I'm losing my mind. Question number 5, how do I apply my edible images to my cakes? And 90% of the time, I apply them to a piece of rolled out fondant and then cut the fondant out and do it that way. I just find that it holds its shape so much better if it is applied to a piece of fondant on the back. Here is a cake that I'm making this week, and you can see, look at the images on the bottom tier. These all are edible images that are applied to a piece of fondant, and then the fondant is applied to the cake. I just find, I don't know, I just like doing it this way, so this is the way that I do it. And again, I will link the video below or put a card up here or whatever on how I do that in detail so you can see what I do. Question number 6, relating to the previous question, do I have to apply them to fondant? You absolutely do not have to apply the images to fondant. Sometimes I don't. I have a picture, I'll put over here a picture of like a Boss Baby cake, and when I do something like money is really thin, and the dollar bills that I have on these cakes here are not applied to fondant, they're just applied directly to the cake. So there are instances where I don't use a fondant backing for my images. The reason that I like to do the fondant backing is I feel like sometimes if you apply the image directly to the cake, a couple things could happen. Number 1, the image could wrinkle if you do not adhere it completely to the cake, or if your icing is not completely flat, if there are little divots or whatnot, the image could have some bubbling issues or wrinkling issues, and the fondant helps prevent that. And another thing that the image could warp. You could get condensation on the icing, which could ruin the image, and the fondant helps have a little protective layer in there. I also get asked a question if you can, oh, is that on here? No. I just thought of another question. If you can apply icing images or edible images directly to like whipped cream or something like that, you have to remember whipped cream has a high water content and it may start to dissolve the image. I only work with American buttercream. I know a lot of people work with meringue buttercream. I've never personally worked with it. I believe that you can apply images right to Swiss meringue or Italian meringue buttercream. However, I just like to do the little piece of fondant behind it. It's like a little security blanket for your edible image. So it's up to you. You could do whatever you want. Yeah, and that's it for that question. Question number 7, and one of the questions that I get asked all the time, not only with edible images, can you refrigerate your cakes with edible images on them? And my answer, personal answer, is yes. I literally, why is that hard to say? I literally refrigerate all of my cakes. Everything goes in the fridges. Like, that's just how I've been doing it for almost 20 years. I live just outside of Philly. It gets hot and humid here in the summer, but in the winter, it's freezing cold. My cakes love that weather, and I don't really have to deal with condensation issues for at least 6 months out of the year. I'm gonna bring this cake out again. This cake has been in the refrigerator. The icing images, this is good. Today is Friday. It's gonna be picked up tomorrow, and I put the icing images on yesterday. So it is going to be in the fridge for 2 days with the icing images on it. What you need to do, let me put this back. What you need to make sure you do is gradually bring the cake to room temperature. I cannot stress that enough. If you refrigerate your cakes and you're in a hot and humid climate and you just bring it out into a room with no air conditioning or whatnot, the cake is gonna sweat. You're gonna get water droplets and it can ruin the decorations and ruin the cake. I have a whole video explaining how I refrigerate cakes and how I work with them, and I will link that in the description below. But the name of the game when you refrigerate your cakes is controlling the condensation. Now, I don't live in a crazy tropical climate, and I know some people do. I'm not sure how to work with it if it is extreme heat and humidity without access to air conditioning, because I know some people are in that boat, and if you don't have access to air conditioning, I would not recommend refrigerating your cakes. So yeah, just watch that video and that will explain it more in detail. Ugh, I get so dry. Anyway, question number 8. My images look faded and blah. What do I do? What are the settings that I need to do? And I just posted a video the other day on a quick fix, and what could be happening is that the sponges in the cartridges could be drying out, and you have to let ink flow to those sponges to solve that problem. I will link that in the description below. I'm gonna link everything. I'll link all the videos that I made, but that will explain it in detail. One of the solutions that you can do to get your pictures more bright and vibrant, and the other solution would be to clean the printer head, which I have another video on. And I hope that's like, am I helping you? I'm just telling you to watch a bunch of videos, but I literally have explained this many different times in other videos. So yeah, just watch the videos. Question number 9. Am I still recording? You never know when the phone is gonna just turn off, so. Question number 9, how long do the images last once they are on the cake? So what I personally do, I don't put them on longer than or more than 4 days prior to the party or the event that the cake is going to be served at. So like I said earlier in the video, if you want to print them in advance, you definitely can and store them in those silver envelopes. However, once you put them on the cake, I personally found that the colors and the images stay bright and vibrant, but I'm sure after time, like, you don't want to print it and leave it out for weeks on end and then try to put it on a cake. You need to keep it stored in the silver envelope, or just put it on your cake a couple days prior to the event, and I have not had any issues with it, just sticking with that 4-day rule. And finally, question number 10, where's the best place to get my edible printer? And I have been shopping at Icing Images for years now, and I just love their products and super fast shipping. I don't know how they do it. I usually get it next day. I may be close to where they are, and that is why, but they always send it out FedEx and it gets here super fast. So Icing Images, I will link them below so you can easily find them. You can get a whole edible printer system, which is what I got. I got the entry-level platinum one, I believe. It comes with the printer, it comes with the cartridges, it comes with the refills. I believe it comes with the refills and a cleaner. I'm not sure everything that comes in that. You're gonna have to look it up because it may have changed since I got it. But to start, you definitely need the printer, and you'll need to set that up. You need the edible ink cartridges, and you'll need some edible paper. And also I would recommend having some kind of cleaner kit as well, because you're gonna eventually have to clean the printer head. It's just nature of the beast with these edible printer systems. But yeah, and they are relatively cheap. Now I know since I made my video, the prices have gone up because of stinking COVID, but all prices have gone up since COVID, but they are still really priced really well. You get a lot for your money. That's what I'm trying to say. So I will link Icing images below so you can find that. And I'm working on becoming an affiliate for Icing images. If I am, I'm going to link it in the description below. I'm still trying to work out. There's little issues that I'm having with signing up, but if I am affiliated with them, I will put an affiliate link in the description below, and I may get a little commission if you order it through that link, which I would really appreciate. You do not have to click the link, but I would really appreciate it if you do. But yes, Icing Images has all the stuff that you need for your edible printer system, and they also have great customer service, so if you have any questions, you can give them a call as well. So those are the top 10 questions that I get when it comes to an edible printer system. If you have any other questions or comments, leave them below. I will try to answer them. So if I know the answer, I definitely will give you the answer based on my experience. So I think that's it for now. If you want to, you can follow me on social media. I am on Instagram, Facebook, and I have my website. And I'm also on Twitter and TikTok, but I'm not really on there, but I am, but whatever. I will link everything below as well. And if you want to stick around, you can watch these videos next and hit the subscribe button and the bell if you haven't already. Please like this video if you liked it and got something out of it. It really helps me out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.